are again, folks. This is the Las Vegas DX Foundation. Welcome tonight. Welcome to Las Vegas.
Woohoo!
My name is Cliff. I am Kilo 5 Delta Alpha. Tonight we have a couple of interesting hosts. We have our friend over here, Frank.
I'm KC7JLL.
And we have...
Robert, N7 RSL.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at my phone right now. Yeah. Oh. Well, folks, I'm, I like to watch myself on the air.
Oh, there we go.
Let's not forget our station engineer, Mr. Aaron over here. This is N5VAE. He may or may not be on the microphone. I don't know right now.
I am here. How are you? How's
There he
everybody?
is.
There we are.
There's our man.
The
There he
man
is.
behind the scenes right there. And we got our statistician tonight. This is Sharon over here. This is K7STJ, as in Sharon's TJ Jeep.
Come up and make a little present, like hello, wave.
There she
There
is. We got our statistician here.
There we
That's
go.
that's not fair. You need to come up and show your face.
She's our Google girl. If we gotta find out the stats or look something up,
I like
she's
that Google girl.
fast.
Google girl.
Our Google girl.
Hey, we got a lot going on today. This week really, we've got announcement. I got a few announcements.
Why did you move? You moved. See, you moved your chair. Every time you move your
I have
chair,
not moved this chair once. Now
you moved it.
Okay. Listen, this makes me look fat on this side. Okay. Hey, but listen, we've Bad Grandpa and I are converging on a way to demonstrate FT8, and not just FT8 the software, but setting up FT8. To me, the software is easy, very easy. It's setting up FT8 that is really the real challenge for me. And Bad Grandpa is going to be the master on that. I like operating it. It's a lot of fun. It's a, I'm not. It's a digital mode, of course, FT8. If you guys aren't familiar with it, hopefully you're an amateur radio operator if you're listening to this podcast. But a lot of my friends and family are not amateur radio operators. Just to let you know that FT8 is a digital mode. It's like an old. Bad Grandpa explained it wonderful last time. It's like the old modem that you have on your phone or your 33.6. Computer when you go on the internet back in the 90s. It makes beeps and noises, but it sends data out. And what's cool about FT8 is it gets real deep into the noise. I mean, to voice, I'm not going to, in layman's terms, voice takes up this much bandwidth. Bandwidth is important when it comes to radio. FT8 takes up this much bandwidth. I mean, it can punch through the noise and the atmospheric noise, no matter what it might be. And because of that reason, it's very efficient and it allows us to talk to foreign stations even better. And but don't get me wrong, man. We're ham radio operators. We do like to talk, and I know I'm talking a lot right now. So let's just check in. Okay, one more thing. We're also going to have a giveaway. It's going to be this coming month. We're going to have a little contest. We had the opportunity today to have a guest at our luncheon. It was I know people who are watching this who are familiar with amateur radio. It's Roger, who's the owner of R&L Electronics. So how do you think about that today?
That was awesome. He's a great guy. A lot of good information.
Yeah, lots of good information. And he's going to do a giveeway, you said? Did I hear you say that?
He's going to do a giveaway. And the giveaway is, we want him as a sponsor. I mean, we're looking for sponsors, obviously. I mean, this doesn't pay for itself. I mean, we're good looking.
Sure.
I know we are, but
Doesn't pay the bills.
It doesn't pay the bill. I mean, we could do the strip dance. We're practicing, folks. I'm just kidding, not practicing. But seriously, he came out and he's out here in Vegas. And he came to our luncheon today, and he joined us, and it was wonderful. And he decided, he said, well, why don't we just do this? I'm going to give you guys a piece of equipment, and we're going to give it as we're going to have a little contest this coming month, and we know who's watching us and who's not watching us, and so we can look at live who's watching us. So we're going to pick some people who are watching us as the winners of that. And you actually bought one of those things today, didn't you, Robert?
Yes, I did.
What exactly is this contraption?
It's a spectrum analyzer.
Okay.
As opposed to the little the nano VNAs.
Yeah.
This one will look at the whole frequency spectrum or whatever spectrum you want to look at. Like, let's say you want to look at your output of your radio station.
Gotcha.
To see if you're putting out any interference.
Okay. Splattering.
The splatterings over other people, or you
Okay.
want to look at see how linear your linear amp is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
And what's it called? A tiny SA?
Yes, it's a tiny SA.
And it's a tool, right? So it's a very, very important diagnostic, really a bench test almost tool.
Yes.
It's like something that you don't really, it's not common to have one of those per se, but to have one and know how to use it, it's really something else, right?
Yeah, they used to be really, really expensive. Like you heard of a station monitor.
Yes, yes.
Most of us can't afford those.
Right.
But for under $100,
There it is
right there. Yeah, the tiny SA. For under $100, you can have an actual spectrum analyzer.
So that's different than the nano DNA, VNA. The VNA does coaxes and antennas,
Right.
whereas this does your signal coming out of your radio.
Correct.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
That's a spectrum
it's
analyzer, a
very-
real one, yeah. So audio files, we call, listen, there's all kind of files in the world, you know what I mean? Some are good, maybe some are bad. I guess the files are not got that good a reputation. But in ham radio, if you're an audio file, we have audio files, and Robert's one of those audio files where, you know, audio coming out of from his voice through his equipment and being broadcast on the air is important to him. And he spent a lot of money, time, and effort. His whole life, I think, is involved in audio, right?
Yes. Yeah, since I got my first reel-to-reel and my Sony cassette deck, I used to bounce back and forth, you know, how old Les Paul used to do it.
Okay.
He'd record a track and then bounce it back and forth, and he could make a whole recording.
Wow.
Of course, the amount of hiss that you picked up as you went back and forth made it only limited to a few times you could do that.
Okay.
Otherwise, the hiss would be louder than the sound. But that's what I started when I was about 10. I got my first Sony reel-to-reel
Wow.
for Christmas,
Wow.
and I've been recording ever since.
Well, that's amazing. So you're an audiophile from early on, and then it has crossed over, because there's a lot of guys like you in ham radio. I gotta be honest with you. Matter of fact, we were talking to someone today. You and I both were at the same time, and Al, another one of our friends. We were on the air on 21 megahertz, y'all. This band was dead last year.
Yeah.
The new Solar Cycle 25 is here, man, and thank God. And it's a good time to be a ham radio operator because our signals are going places, man.
Yeah,
and, we were talking to a guy directly from your antenna, my antenna, all the way to Germany today. And
Wow.
the gentleman was the owner of what's the antenna company? It was OptiBeam.
OptiBeam. Yeah, OptiBeam.
The CEO, founder of OptiBeam. So it was a groundbreaking day, really. We talked to
Wow.
the owner, founder of OptiBeam.
And great audio. Did you notice that?
The guy had audio like you read about. I mean, you think this is good audio. This is nothing
Yeah,
compared
it was
to what
incredible. Incredible audio.
Robert picked up on it. And I tuned in, listened to this guy's audio. I'm like, what is this guy using for audio, man? And you picked up on it. You guys exchanged, notes and compared stuff. And then I jumped in there and we started talking about antennas and all kinds of stuff. And the guy just had a beautiful audio. Do you know? I mean, that's so clean and beautiful.
He had a good radio voice for that as well.
I guess it makes a lot to it as well.
Well, let me ask you guys a question. Since you guys have been shooting DX for many years, when you guys are contesting, and if you hear somebody with great audio, does that kind of click in your brain like I'm going after him?
Oh yeah, it's attractive.
So
to
that's
me, it is.
probably why you did that with your system. You made your audio so perfectly crystal clear and
Right.
the way you want it.
Yeah.
Is that so when other people hear you throughout the world, they really pick Rob out of the pack and they want to go after you?
Yeah, that's a good portion of it. I don't know if you've listened on the radio and you hear somebody with really squeaky, kind of overmodulated sound, and you just want to say hi, get a signal report, and get the heck out.
Sure. Yeah, it hurts your
As you
ears.
come along, someone like Cliff. Cliff has great audio as well. You want to sit and talk to him for a little while because it's so pleasant on the ears.
Don't forget
Yeah.
power.
Of course.
You also want power.
QRO's the way to go.
I had my radio. I had the FT101, the Yaesu FT101D, the FTDX, whatever, 101D, and it's got that that option. You have to reboot it, but you can make your signal, which is illegal, but you can make it 4 kcs wide. I mean, it
Yeah.
gives you another 1,000 cycles to broaden the quality of your audio. I took that thing off because I learned that the smaller the bandwidth, the more punch you have in
That's
your
right.
signal.
Gotcha. You can
That's
get
right.
through.
Yeah, that's right. So your power, say a kilowatt at 4 kcs, is not nearly as strong
No.
as a kilowatt at 3 kcs
Yeah.
or 2 kcs
Makes sense.
Exactly.
or CW, right?
Makes
So-
sense.
A lot of radios are actually set up for that. They'll have a DX mode on them.
Okay.
And it takes all the high and the lows out, and it's just sound like this, and it just punches right
It's
through
the,
it.
Wow.
it's that
That's hard.
compression audio, the compression,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so there's techniques with audio that are important for us. Nevertheless, to see that audio, you need to do it the professional way. You need an analyzer, right? You need a spectrum analyzer,
to look
and we're
at
going to
it.
give one away.
Wow.
And we're going to give one away. I mean, can you imagine
And who's
that?
the company that's helping
This
us,
is
the
R-
sponsor?
Okay, folks, it's called R&L Electronics. They've been in business for 40 years. They're up out of near Cincinnati. They're in Hamilton.
Ohio. Okay.
Hamilton.
Hamilton.
I see
And
where that's
Hamilton-
going.
Since Frank's in front of the computer, he's more than welcome to scroll through the page there.
This Hamilton, as in Ham,
There's your new goal. Your new.
they're our new best friend because we're getting free stuff. I mean, Robert's sporting that hat right now, the RNL Electronics hat, and we all got one, and we're pretty impressed. The guys
Oh my
showed
God, they
up.
were so nice.
Oh, yeah, wonderful people to talk to.
Yeah, Janine, his girlfriend, and she does, she answers the phone. She's like the, she keeps that place rolling. And I guess from what Roger says is that the company's been in business now since he was a child, and
Yeah.
he took over from his father.
Yeah.
And so we're talking about 1978, I think 76 maybe.
Wow.
He's been around. That's been going for a long time.
And what a nice guy, too.
champion guy, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to get him on the podcast, but that's
He wanted to relax.
At least he gave us a toy, okay? We can
That's
give
true.
him that,
That's
right?
true.
And so I'm happy about that. So we got that going on, and then what else is happening? Oh yeah, by the way, I gotta make this announcement, y'all. We want you to call in. If you got any questions for us, have you got a lot of years of? How many years you been licensed, Frank?
95, I got first licensed.
So we're talking about 95. That's over 20 years. So-
Absolutely.
and then Robert's been he's been in electronics his entire life. It's just before he was double digits probably, but
Yeah, from the late 70s.
Wow.
there you go. And that's me too. I'm late 70s. 1976 I got licensed as W.
I'm 30 years.
And yeah, Aaron and
Wow.
I guess the only rookie here, but she's not really a rookie. Is her father was, just so you know. I was talking about Sharon over here. Sharon, her father knows aliens. He worked at the test site in Area 51 for 30 years.
Nice.
And,
Can you even be talking about
listen,
that right now?
So listen,
Oh, we're gonna pick her brain after.
so listen, whenever so he had antennas strung all around the house. I don't know what he was listening to, but he wasn't licensed yet. But he did have a 2-meter. He had a 2-meter radio.
Oh, wow.
And he calls my boat anchor. It's a 2-meter. It's a rack. I mean, it's like a real boat anchor.
Wow.
I hope I get that thing. Get willed to me, whatever. But
That's neat.
He still lives by that code. By the way, this is kind of funny. He lives by that code where he's not allowed to talk about Area
Yeah.
51, right?
Yeah, they have
so
to.
I met him a couple times, and I go, "Hey, what do you see over there at Area 51?" He goes, "I built antennas."
Yep. He probably,
That's all he says.
most
he won't
guys
say
just
anything
walk away
else.
from you.
He goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, I just built antennas." I go, "This guy built antennas. He designed antennas. This guy had a college degree. He's like an RF engineer.
Wow.
He built antennas for the test site."
Wow.
Wow,
And,
that's pretty
I'm
cool.
like, well, can we talk about antennas? He won't even go to. That's all he says.
That's
he will
all he
not.
says,
He
yeah.
shuts up and just looks at that
Yep.
like
Changes the subject.
conversation's over, man.
Yeah, change the
I
subject.
can't even pick his brain. She knows nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
He kept it all from you?
Yeah.
for 30 years that guy worked there. When he retired, Sharon bought the house from him. He went back up to where he's from in Idaho. So,
Yeah,
Wow.
so the guy was like a ham radio genius, like a lot of
Wow.
our members are.
That's pretty cool.
My dad was he's gone, but he worked at MITRE Corporation. Now MITRE is MIT Research and Engineering.
Oh wow.
MITRE, and he
Wow.
would be working on a lot of stuff for the military. He couldn't say anything about it as well.
Couldn't say a
And
word.
Me,
Security clearance.
yeah, sitting at his feet, taking old car radios apart and stuff. He'd almost start to tell me about something, but then he'd catch himself.
Wow.
And I wish I could pick his brain now.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
and
They
find
say
out what they were working on.
Loose lips sink ships, right?
Yeah.
That was their
That's-
code back in those days, and,
Yeah.
it's not a joke. It was a real deal. It was your life. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
pretty much. And then her father, I met him. Like I said, he's one from that old code, that old generation where, he had the pocket protector. I mean, he's
Yeah.
one of those guys. I mean,
Yeah.
like we were, like our senior people were back whenever you and I were kids.
Right.
Basically, that generation, they're cut a little bit different than we are. I mean,
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Well, that I am, anyways. I'm a Vegas guy. In every way you can imagine.
So how was your weekend there, Cliff? Did you have any projects you've been working on?
Have I worked on projects? I have been working.
Weren't
on
you working
projects.
on your tower or something?
Yeah, I listen. I don't know. I have a 4-element cubicle quad. Okay, and when the wind blows,
Here we go.
And it was pretty
When-
windy
when-
this weekend.
when the wind blows.
Look at Sharon.
Luckily, I do have a Harbor Freight
Winch?
Badlands winch on my tower because I got the remote now and I put that thing to work. I've burnt through a solenoid already. I've got to replace my solenoid.
Holy
I
cow.
push the button and it stays
Oh,
going up.
my
I
God.
gotta
Yep.
try not to get to stop for a second. Now it wants to go automatically. I can just look at it and it starts raising or lowering. But so I've got a big antenna, and so it requires a lot of maintenance, and I don't mind doing it. It's a labor of love, and the antenna works fabulously, and a lot of DXing this weekend. I got a lot of new countries. 12 meters, I don't know about
Well,
you.
the bands are opening, right?
Oh my God! Folks, if you ever thought about having some fun on radio, just having some fun.
Now's the time.
Wow, I mean, this is the best time, and it's going to be this way. It's going to get better for the next 5 years, and then we'll have about 8 years of good propagation. Where it's not going to take a whole lot to have some really wonderful times, experiences in ham radio.
And what does that mean exactly? Does that mean that everyone who gets into HF, high frequency, that when they broadcast on the radio, they have a better chance of talking
That's
to
exactly
somebody?
right. There's a better chance that your signal is going to go end up in some obscure place on planet Earth, and somebody's going to come back to you with a broken English, man. That's what it means. That's a lot of
on
fun
low
for me.
power yet,
Those
too,
are the good
right?
contacts.
100 watts goes all over the place right now.
Matter of fact, you were talking to the gentleman in Germany today.
In Germany, 100 watts.
Purely
Wow.
from the rig, and I was running a kilowatt. I got to admit, I like running my amplifier. And when I hear somebody really super loud and they're running, you can tell they're running power. I'm like, well, I'll just run some power with them too. You know what I mean? And hey, guys, call in. We'd love to have you call in. There's some numbers up on the screen. I'll, in case you're visually impaired, I'll tell you what they are. They're local, 702. 32. What I even say that for?
6947.
Why did I say that? I have no idea. Okay, 702 329 6947, just like on your screen. And if you're calling from the international, wherever, 855
Wherever.
502 4321, you want to press the number 1 when the receiver picks up, and you'll get right to the studio. We can all hash it out.
Can I show you what my new little toy is that I'm working
good,
on?
Good Lord, y'all, this is going to be
Is that
great.
okay?
Go for it, man.
Absolutely.
We got to hear this.
Check this out.
What is that?
What do we have here?
That
Looks
is
like
a
a KT-34 on a tower.
4-element
Oh.
step IR.
Oh
Ooh,
boy.
a step
Antenna.
IR.
No, that's
It's
folks,
a monster antenna.
folks. That's the 4-element step IR. It's not a 3-element step IR. It's twice the size of a 3-element.
Wow.
I mean, it's a monster beam. I gotta be honest with you.
That's a man's antenna.
I put the boom together. I had it at my house for a minute. I was going to try to put it together. It's just too big I got the quad and I got that thing. I don't need both those. I couldn't put them both.
Look how long it is. It actually
That's
extends
incredible.
I was
past.
going to say, that's a big boy.
The boom is 32 feet, I think it is, and
Look at that.
Looks like it's holding up your roof right now.
I
That
mean,
is the roof.
you can stand that boom up and use it as a tower. That thing
There
is
you go.
it's so strong, and it's not a little boy antenna. This is a big boy antenna, and they're famous. The 4-element, when you step over into the 4-element portion of stepper IR's antennas, the 4-element separates them in from the boys. Everything from the 4-element all the way up through their monster beams are all just gigantic. This
I've
thing's
had a
gigantic.
stepper before. They're great antennas.
Yeah, he wants to do a contest station. So Aaron got the antenna, and he's going to make it work.
Nice.
Listen, he's had one before. He's the right guy to own this antenna in our club. I'm
the
a
last one I had
quad
was
guy.
a 3-element, so it was a lot smaller.
You know, if you want to put a tower up and put a Yagi on it, you want to talk to Robert over here. If you want to build a quad, you might want to talk to me. If you want to work on a stepper, you might want to talk to Aaron over here. If you want to figure out how to make something that's antique work again, you might want to talk to Bad Grandpa because we've got our guys in, and we've even got Scott, for example, Scotty K7MIX is an
Right.
audiophile just like you are.
Yeah.
And then we've got our Jeeper guys. Now this is Frank. Just so you know, we should call him Jeeper Frank or something. I mean, we gotta get a nickname. We got Towered Robert over there.
Fun
We got-
size Frank.
We got Cowboy Cliff.
Fun size Frank is what they call me.
We call you what?
Fun size Frank.
Fun size Frank.
Yeah. All the guys at the shop, the guys who built my Jeep at Vegas 4x4, that's what they all call me is Fun size Frank.
And Frank's an important person to us because there's a lot of Jeepers that use communication equipment, and they have to. I mean, they have to talk to each other.
Yep.
As a matter of fact, Sharon, our Google girl over here, she
Wow.
Wow.
Our purple
our
princess.
Google girl over here, that's how she knows Frank by virtue of the club.
Yep.
And so that's kind of like that was a segue into
Yep.
tonight.
There you go,
I've
Frank.
helped a lot of Jeepers put their
offer you
commuter
on a-
radios in their Jeeps
Nice.
Yeah.
and
And,
so on. I've known Sharon for, oh goodness, a long time now.
I mean,
Five,
she-
6, 7. Oh, geez, yeah, that
Yeah.
was, over 4 years.
Well,
now.
we've put you on the Jeep Lover.
Yeah, look at this.
Oh, thank you, Aaron. I love flat fenders. That's an old Willys.
I mean, we
my,
went.
my friend John has that exact Jeep, actually.
That's an old Willys right there, a flat fender.
We you're definitely going to. By the way, Sharon and I went over to Frank's house to analyze his house. He's been licensed for a long time, but he hasn't been on HF. He's been, VHF
meter.
and communication 2-meter things like that in that nature. And we get to see his Jeep. By the way, I wish you had a picture of your Jeep right now. His Jeep is called Big Red. Okay,
Yep.
it's not even a Jeep anymore. It's it's morphed into this monster vehicle that climbs. If you got something, shoot him.
I'll send it to Aaron.
He's got this Jeep that's you got to climb on it with a step ladder. I mean,
But it doesn't count if there's no ham radio equipment in it.
he's
That's
got
right.
radio equipment in that thing. I mean, he's got radio
Yeah,
equipment
there's
in
a 2 meter radio.
Is it
in
a monster Jeep?
it's
it
a
is.
rock climber, man. It's I don't know what they call them exactly. They got nicknames. Is it rock climber? Is that what do you call it? A beast?
It's a rock climber. We
It's a
take
rock-
it out in the rocks.
It's a buggy.
No, it's not a buggy.
Okay.
No, it's not a buggy.
What is a buggy compared to a?
A buggy is something that is like rated 10 trails and higher. This can do like 8s, 9s. It's not a 10 rated, 11.
Okay, there's rated- like there's rated-
vehicle. They're all rated, kind of like the ham radios
So
and
a
everything.
buggy probably not even a Jeep body anymore, right?
No,
Okay,
it's
there
all
you go.
tubular chassis, all
Okay,
custom
so it's
built.
just a race vehicle. Whatever.
22 inches of travel front
Okay,
and rear.
gotcha. Okay,
They're-
it's not really a Jeep anymore.
Yeah.
So you lose the Jeep when you get to the buggy, right?
Exactly.
It's got a Jeep
grill.
grill.
That's about it.
That's the only thing, huh?
It's got the Jeep grill and qualified, but a lot of your friends have those, right? I mean, you're in
Oh, yeah.
every aspect of
Yeah,
Jeeping, right?
absolutely.
And-
There's
and-
from mild to wild.
And every Jeep has a radio in it.
Every Jeep has a 2 meter race radio.
And
in
listen,
them.
it's, what club was it that had like 30 people get licensed a while back? Was it your group?
It was Vegas Valley Four Wheelers, most likely. They're the biggest club in the state of Nevada.
If you think about it for a minute, if you've got a group of people together, that 30 of them got their ham radio license in one pop. I mean, that's huge.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is
I mean,
huge.
for our hobby, it's a big deal, and now he wants to take it to the next step and get on HF where all the fun is. I mean, there's Jeeping is a lot of fun. It's a whole another gigantic, expensive hobby.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
not going to ask him how much that is, but come on. He's got. I know one thing. He's got a Corvette engine in his Jeep.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, it's an LS motor. Aaron, I just sent it to you.
Okay.
You should be on your phone.
He's got the Corvette motor in his Jeep. Okay, so
Wow.
it's not.
Oh my lord.
His Jeep is slowly morphing out of Jeepism into race carism. So
That's what it looks like. It looks like it could go really fast up a rock.
It'll get with the program. It's got over 400 horsepower
Wow.
in it.
Oh, good Lord,
It'll
man.
get with the program.
So it's all four wheel spin, right? So, I mean,
Oh, yeah, and then some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so that's the kind of Jeep I want to be in if you're out there in the middle. So we're in the southwestern part of the United States. I'm a Texan, but we're in the southwest part of the United States where there's a lot of rock and cool stuff out here, man.
bet there is.
This ain't like the mud over in
No,
Tennessee.
like that East
I mean,
Coast.
East Coast stuff. This is
I've been in the
jagged
mud in
mountains.
Tennessee.
Oh yeah, that's.
Well,
a
back
whole
home in Texas,
different
it's all about mudding. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
different deal, right?
We do a lot of work out in California, the King of the Hammers, Cougar Buttes, Johnson Valley, things of that nature. That's where a lot of the hard trails are in Southern California.
It'd be good to get all your guys licensed so that they could communicate with all. Like you could make I mean, there's a lot of ways to integrate ham radio into Jeep where you can set one Jeep up as a repeater.
Yeah.
And up on a mountain, and then everybody repeat into the Jeep,
Yeah.
the lead Jeep, and everybody can hear everybody. I know that some of the lines are pretty long, right?
Well, a lot of the guys were on the old 11-meter band, for many, many years, and they weren't on the business band or the 2-meter frequencies. And I kept trying to explain to them that 2 meters, such more crisper, so much cleaner.
It is, yeah.
The audio is much nicer. It can travel longer distance, and like you were saying, if you use a Jeep as a repeater, you can even communicate even further.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it would be the
Slowly
best.
but surely.
Crossband repeat,
Yeah.
crossband repeat, yeah.
And that's exactly what we do at the races. Every February when the King of the Hammers race goes on, there's
This is a big deal, right?
a 2-meter truck that goes out and sits on top of the mountain, and
Wow.
one truck will communicate one way and another, and it
Yeah.
just passes.
So there you have it. Then
Yeah.
it's already been utilized. Then
Well, there you go.
And,
There it is.
There it is. Look at
There it
that
is.
monster.
The big red LJ.
now, there's folks. I don't know if you have to get a ladder to climb up in this thing. You have no idea how tall this thing is. It's ridiculous, and we got to see that thing, and we didn't get to hear it, but I know I'll hear it eventually. So.
I got to thank the guys at Vegas 4x4. They're the ones who built it for me. That's my dream Jeep. They did. Ryan and Brett and Larry at Vegas 4x4 did everything.
Wow.
Well, yeah, I've met those guys, and they're
Great
amazing.
guys.
Their shop is. They should have their own show. I mean, they should have their own.
They should.
They should have their own show like this, or they should have their own show. Period. I mean, just like those other guys that have shows on.
We'll have to bring them down here to the studio.
1,000%. I'm all over that, man. Aaron will have them. He'll have another show with them on the side. I know he will.
I also want to acknowledge that we have Jesse in the chat room.
Jesse, how you doing, buddy?
Door.
Hey, Justin.
I don't know who Door is.
Door is Daryl.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Daryl, yeah.
Molly Buck.
Molly, Buck, how you doing, Molly?
Krista.
That's that Molly's my friend that's going to be meeting us out there. We're doing a quick run out to fly out to Orlando. Go on rendezvous over there in Orlando and do some business. And
Nice.
she's one of my friends I've known for about 15 years, I guess it is. Her
Oh,
ex-husband and deceased husband. And anyway, long story short, she's one of my friends. Thanks for watching, Molly. Shout out to Molly. Thanks for watching, man.
Yay, Molly.
Hey,
And,
and Richard Delatorre is also in there.
Richard,
Yeah,
okay,
Richard.
Mr. Vegas, man. This is-
Mr. Vegas.
I was fortunate enough to be asked to come on one of his podcasts, a few of his podcasts, right here, and he showed me how to gamble. I was just thinking about Richard the other day. I'm back working at the Cosmopolitan, and Jockey Club Cosmo. Let me clean it up. Jockey Club Cosmopolitan, and not Cosmopolitan Jockey Club. Okay, just say this a little bit political right there, but so I was walking through the casino, and they were walking by the craps table. And all those rules he taught me, there was a couple of nights I did a podcast. I'm like, I need Richard with me right now. I got $20 in my pocket. I'm not going to make some money right now if I wanted to. I said, is it the come line or the pass line? I said, damn, I forgot that stuff. But
Buy that new radio.
There you go.
Richard, if you watch his podcast, that guy has an amazing podcast.
Full Tilt Vegas.
Full Tilt-
Saturdays
it's right
at,
here on Go Live
6
Vegas.
PM.
Just Go Live Vegas, Saturday 6 p.m.
Yep.
And that dude is he's the master. The dude's a mathematician. I mean, I gotta be honest with you. The guy crunches the numbers. Why come to Vegas without knowing what you're doing before you get here? I mean, unless you know what you're doing before you get here, is the way I look at it. So, the guys did all the hard work for you. Back to you, Frank. You're going to be putting up some antennas now for HF, right? You've already bought some equipment.
Correct.
So you got the 7300, I think it is, the Icon.
We just bought the ICOM 7300.
Which is a great radio, by the way, for anybody to have. I mean, I know Aaron's owned one. Bad Grandpa's owned one. Bad Grandpa, where's Bad Grandpa at? Is he even here?
He's on. You want him to come in the studio?
You gotta have Bad Grandpa in the 7300
Okay,
discussion.
he's on now. He's ready to go.
Bad Grandpa.
Hey, hello.
There he is.
Anything blowing your capacitors, Bad Grandpa?
Guys, real upset.
Oh my God.
no.
Oh my God.
Here we go.
Well, yeah, you know, all these LED lights, all these LED lights,
Yeah.
they don't draw any, they don't get hot, they're just brighter than hell. You can be
think-
blind and see the damn things. So, anyway, Grandpa got some,
There he is. Hey, Bad Grandpa, we
There
see
he
you
is.
now.
got some lights. And they're noisy.
They're
They
noisy.
wake up. Oh, Jesus.
Well, but they're so efficient, it's so good on electricity bills.
Look at these buggers. Yeah, they're really pretty. but
They're
they
really large.
Those are large.
Oh yeah.
Bad Grandpa, what frequency are those lights operating at?
10 meters, 12 meters, 15 meters.
All the
That's not
important
good.
ones.
Okay.
We're gonna go into that.
And only 100 watts, right? Only 100 watts.
Right?
That's
so,
right.
So efficiently, too.
So-
We ate everything.
So Grandpa got all these lights, and instead of putting them up, he fired them up, and they ripped up the radio. So
Oh, man. I've heard stories, my friend. I've heard stories.
yeah, oh, wait till the neighbors get these. So Grandpa, you had to hand pick some chokes. See,
Okay.
Oh.
see this?
It's an RF choke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, look
so,
at that.
Yeah, so Grandpa installed a bunch of chokes, and it went from 20 over to about an S2.
No, seriously. So all you gotta do is, so they're ready. Their power line became their antenna.
Oh, the whole string is an antenna.
So
About
you picked a
50
frequency that
feet
resonated on,
worth-
huh?
About 50 feet worth of antenna.
God,
Wow.
man. Oh my God, 50 feet. Can you imagine? That's just ridiculous.
Some
man.
people don't have that as a radio in their house.
that's-
Their
Right.
radio.
That's
Well, my lights get out better than my station.
what we're talking about. They burn 1,000 watts. Huh?
That's right.
Get about 1,000 watts for the light bulbs there, huh?
So the moral of this. There's your moral here somewhere. Hang on just a moment. I haven't seen your moment. Let me get back on track. Oh, that's right. So if the neighbors get these stupid things, I don't know if you're going to be able to fix them up, but if you get them, you can fix them.
Okay. With the
That's
chokes,
it.
right? With the
Where do you
with
get
the
those
ferrite,
chokes?
ferrite chokes.
Yeah, where do you get those?
Same place to get my groceries, Amazon.
Okay.
Let's go grocery shop at Amazon.
That's right.
Just don't order the frozen food, right?
Oh, yeah, click, click, ding dong, it's here. I don't even have to fire up the family hoopty. It's, you know,
Lucky
to
man.
be-
Yeah, we did that for a while at Walmart. We'd just go and we'd order it and go pick it up, right? They'd pop the hatchback, and they come and just set it in there. And you never say you have to say one word to them if you don't want to.
Wow.
But they close it for you, and you just drive off. You prepay for it, you know.
Wow.
Get home and find out what you're missing, you know.
They get you. Like going to,
People that don't speak a common English come in.
Right? Hey, Bad Grandpa, you have a 7300, right? The same rig.
I have one.
You have one, yeah. How you like that rig?
I love my 7300.
Everybody. As a matter of fact, it's right behind him right
I
there.
can
I'm looking
see
at
it
it right
over
now.
your shoulder.
So-
Your shit. There it is. Right
So Frank asked us a while back what he thought he should get, and you recommended the 7300.
That's right.
Yep.
And I concur. I owned one myself before about 3 years ago, and I tell you what, that's a heck of a radio right there,
I
man.
think Rob, don't you have one, Rob?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
I'm
you
a
will.
Kenwood guy, but
Gotcha.
I'll probably break down and get one.
Gotcha,
Everybody's
gotcha.
bragging about their radio.
He's got
Really?
Yaesu too. Don't get me wrong. He's got the original F101s. Okay, y'all. I know. I've seen his radio station before. It's amazing.
Yeah, Grandpa's kind of a stickler about quality and working, and I haven't really found a whole bunch about the 7300 that blows my capacitors.
That's comforting then, because I just got mine. It's not even hooked up yet.
He's still got the box. Listen, he had a brand new box sitting on his counter. I just wanted to open
Yeah.
the radio, but I had to fight back the urge to just dig into this box and open that brand new radio up. I gotta be honest with you.
I got the antenna tuner today too, and the
did you?
power supply, the Palstar AT2K.
He got listen. He got the biggest
Antennas?
Astron power supply I've ever seen in my life. Dude.
it's huge.
It's this big. The power supply this big, 2 meters on it. An Astron.
How many
50,
amps?
50 amps.
50.
Is
He
it
could
50?
run a
50.
kilowatt amplifier.
You
with
could
that.
arc weld with that thing.
Grandpa's got the 70.
See,
Look behind Bad Grandpa. He's got at least 50 pieces of equipment just in that frame I'm looking at right there.
wow.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's a real junkyard. I mean, museum.
I mean, you have no idea what's around Bad Grandpa. You could probably barely get that the actual camera fitted in between all the stuff he's got. You want to show us?
Yeah.
He's is bad,
you gotta
bad
limp
foot-
over?
Is it a bad foot day?
It hits you might get along.
Got a little itchy to get along.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, looks like some Yesus up
Oh,
there.
that's Collins right there.
Yeah, shoes. What?
That's
They're
Collins.
That's Collins.
Oh, Collins.
Oh, my
Oh,
God.
That's the Collins S line right
it look,
there.
I thought it was a
It looks like it, huh? It does look like Yaesu. A little
FT.
bit.
I think they
No,
copied
101?
Collins, actually.
101s is what I thought it was.
He's got that too. He's got that too.
Oh,
Yeah.
we get all kinds.
Look at all that.
That's Heathkit right
Oh,
there
my
on the right hand
God.
side, that green. And down there, there's Heathkit right below that too.
Oh my.
That's some old stuff right there, y'all. That's a DX60
Oh,
right there, DX100.
Oh, yeah.
This
Look,
is
that's
amazing.
The, that's the
More
SB104. On the right hand side of the green, there's SB104 Heathkit. That was the top of the line single sideband rig right there.
Hey,
man, back
does
there.
anybody have any questions in the chat room? Feel free to, ask
Check
a
it-
question.
check that out, man. That's-
Or phone in.
There's this bench right there, y'all. Check
Look
that
at
out.
all those
Oh, that's-
D104s.
I didn't go
That's
there and get
right.
one.
That's all my old antique 11 meter stuff.
Yeah, he's got an entire 11 meter museum as well. I mean, but everything in his house works. The thing about Bad Grandpa is he makes that stuff work, y'all.
That's
he don't
awesome.
just collect it. He'll get it in a bag. He'll get a box of broken
Parts,
parts.
yeah.
Because they'll be shipped with somebody.
Put your glasses on, old man.
Wow.
There we go.
Look at
There's my test bench.
Holy cow.
You're looking at another Tesla, is what this guy is. I mean, he's got the brain of Tesla. I mean, seriously,
And
does.
he
I
can
mean,
fix anything.
And this guy right here, I just refurbished it.
What is that?
It's a 1962.
Hudson.
Edsel?
Where were we? Oh, yeah, that's right. Let me get it out while I remember.
We love you, Bad Grandpa.
It's a I got 5-second memory. Hey, it's a 1962 Night Kit R100.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Wow.
right. That's
Wow.
right.
So is it an AM transmitter?
No, it's a shortwave radio, but it's a It's a good one.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Shortwave, yeah.
Remember
Back
when
in the
it
day,
came
they
out, I
called
couldn't afford
shortwave.
it.
Of course, man. Like that S line you just zoomed across a few minutes ago. That was like
That's
the
right.
the best radio in planet Earth for 40 years.
Yes.
I mean, it's military grade, HF equipment. The Collins S line was what was in every American embassy for probably a good 40, 50 years.
Okay.
You see that right there. See that what you thought right there in the middle? That
The one in the middle.
that thing in the middle right there was in every American embassy from
Wow.
before I was ever born.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
military Mars used Collins radio,
They-
and the military as well.
Yeah, and it was
Yeah.
that was what you'd have to learn how to operate that thing too. You had to have a radio operator operate that
Yes,
thing.
yeah.
Those are not easy radios.
So now
They
this,
had-
is that a receiver and a
Yes,
transceiver?
yes, it is, and it's even more than that.
Or transmitter?
It probably has a receiver transmitter right, separate.
Gotcha.
So they were integrated with cables, and you got to make sure the receiver's turned off before you start transmitting, or you blow your receiver up. I mean,
Ah, okay.
That's right. There's a transmitter right there.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And the receiver.
That's a
And
phone
the-
patch.
And the phone patch.
And what's a phone patch?
Oh, you used to call somebody up and say, hey, listen, could you do me a real big favor? I want to talk to my boy chick. He's in Vietnam. So we would say, hold the wire just a moment. And we get him on the radio, and then we tell him you're going live, and we'd flip one of them there switches, and his voice would wind up on the phone line, and your voice would wind up on the air.
That's exactly right.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So it'd be from Vietnam via radio to an amateur radio operator here in the United States, and that amateur radio operator in the United States would integrate that phone into a phone line so he could call your family. So I've been I got the fortune to do that to. I had a 10-tech station. I got the phone patch because in my hometown in Texas was the main church of a guy who was a missionary down the Mosquito Coast in Honduras, and he was off grid, no power,
Wow.
no running water. I mean, matter of fact, they all caught disease and had to leave after a couple years, him and his wife, but he was down there trying to preach the gospel to the Mosquito Indians on the Mosquito Coast.
Okay.
And he had solar powered, I think it was a TS520 or something. And every Sunday, I'd get on there and he would call home.
Wow.
And him and I, it was on 15 meters. We would talk just like 15 is open today. Since 22 years ago. We would talk, and I'd integrate his voice and talk to his family locally in the same town I lived in.
Wow.
And I did it faithfully every
we did.
Sunday until
Interesting.
until he had to leave. Until he left that country. I mean, until
When I was over
Yeah.
in Okinawa,
yeah.
I worked Mars one Christmas, and it was sending soldiers.
We say Mars. You're talking about the military amateur radio service.
Yeah.
not Mars.
And
Mars.
the Rumbeck I got to use, it had to be, I don't know, 1,000
Rumbeck?
feet.
Wow,
It's a
really?
military antenna.
Well, of
but,
course, the best in the world, right?
Maybe you could explain what Mars and Cap is real quick.
Military amateur radio service.
Right.
It was pretty much helping the soldier contact their home base. Ham radio operator would connect with someone in, like, say, Indiana, and they would,
Somebody like Grandpa.
that's right. They
Right.
would say, we have traffic, and then the people would sit either in with you on a microphone, or they'd call in on a telephone to that phone patch.
Right, exactly.
And
yeah.
then that signal would go to Indiana, and then those other people on the other end would be sitting either in the station or on a phone line, and they could hear their son or daughter
Yeah.
talking back to them.
And that was the only way to do it.
That was the
really.
only way to do it.
That was a part of Races, right?
And,
Yeah.
we're talking about
Wow.
we're
Back
talking
in the
about
day.
in the jungle. That military guy could be in the jungle, man.
Wow.
He could
Yep.
be on the first line. He could be
Yeah,
he could
right
be
on
in
the
the
front
in there,
lines.
yeah, front line in the jungle,
So
and
if you-
call home and talk to his family. Yeah.
If you guys were in the jungle, were your antennas taller than the trees then, or?
No, they would link.
Backpacks.
Well, they had backpacks, but they had portable antenna
Gotcha.
setups
Yep.
that they could set up, and they'd run mainly dipoles is what they ran
Oh,
from
wow.
the field.
Okay.
So you'd shoot it up into a tree, and kind of like what we do today.
Yep,
Sure.
yep. We do a lot of portable stuff here as
And,
well.
and they actually did repeat sometimes. They would pick it up on one frequency at the Mars station on base, and then repeat it over another frequency, and then do it that way. So it was kind of a cross-band repeater,
Oh.
is what we use today.
There's a Facebook. Is that Facebook? So Sharon pulled up. She googled.
Our crack
She
research
googled
staff.
Mars. she googled netcom.army.military.mars, and they have a website up.
Oh.
if you want to find out more about it, you could just Google Mars, MARS, and stands for Military Auxiliary Radio System.
Yeah, it changed
Uh-huh.
it. Yeah.
And
Okay.
so we are headquarters for the Fort Huachuchua, Arizona, and assigned to the headquarters United States Army Network Enterprise Technology Command,
Yeah.
the NETCOM.
Yeah.
So if you want to find out more about that, you can just Google it, and you can read more about that if you wanted to. That's pretty interesting stuff. That's big.
That is.
That's big league stuff. Is what
That,
that
yeah,
is.
big boy stuff.
Yeah,
That's,
it's not so much used today because we have cell phones. and
Right.
Well, you know what
all
was
that
fun is that we were able to adapt the phone patch to our amateur radio repeaters.
That's
and then
exactly right.
and
That's
this was
exactly
before
right.
cell phones, and then we were able to phone pretty much anybody, anywhere,
stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
which
Sure.
was a lot of fun.
Whenever I was in high school in 1976, and I was a brand new ham radio operator. One of my buddies, he was a couple years older than me, so he's a little bit. He had his extra class, and he had his tower. It was a mast, and he had those big those big 2-meter walkie-talkies you'd get from Radio Shack.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had one,
Yeah.
and I could be walking down the street, and I could dial in. I could go to his phone patch, which was at our house, and I could call home
Wow.
with my radio.
Wow.
And I thought so. The first cell phone was in 1976.
Yeah.
In
Sure.
my life, it was.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Because the cell phone is a radio.
Cell phone is
Regardless of what people think it is, it's still a radio.
it's a transceiver. It's a very high-end transceiver.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you know what it is really? These little things right here. These little things right here are what they had on Star Trek. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your
I think
television.
it's better than Star Trek now.
I mean, you
Yeah,
can't shoot
nowadays.
anybody with it, but man, you become an instant genius with one of these things.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you really do.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is a radio. This is a transceiver,
That's
Yep.
right.
and no matter how you cut the cards, radio's here forever.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
And we just like to exploit radio and to do things that we like to do. And so Frank has got this new 7300, the same thing that Bad Grandpa has.
Yep.
And so that's what he's got. So we're in the process of getting his antenna up, and he's going to do it the right way. We wouldn't know. Sharon and I went up to his house, and we inspected, how to ground, where to shoot the wires at. Some ideas about how to the guy system for the mast he's going to have. He's going to start with an off-center fed dipole.
Yep.
Multi-band, so he needed an antenna tuner, and he had some grounding. He had to ground it too, obviously. But so we got kind of all that laid out, so he understood it. He asked a lot of questions, like he needed to know some information.
Sure.
And so he did all that, and he's got a plan now, a plan of
Can I
action.
interrupt
Absolutely.
you guys just for a
Yeah, sure.
second?
Yeah,
I
go
just
right
wanted
ahead.
to show you this picture.
Okay, go for it.
Look at that.
Oh
That's a
wow.
Radio
Look at
Shack.
those.
Let's see, Bad Grandpa. Yeah, Bad Grandpa has all of those.
He does. He really.
You think
That's
you're
Radio
kidding.
Shack, folks.
He's on one right now.
You watch this.
I love those. That's
Look at that. Look how like that, and that was top
at
technology
that.
back then.
yeah, and I had one of those, and it ran. It was in the milliwatts. It didn't run.
Yeah.
I was.
Well, that one, 100 milliwatts. That one says.
Is that what it says? Yeah, I think that's the one I
100
had.
milliwatts, yeah.
And it didn't go very far, but I sure had a lot of fun trying to talk to people with that. I could hear them really good, though.
Look at that, including channel 11.
Wow.
yeah, it's
It had
Channel
Channel
11.
11
Wow.
in it.
Jeez, are
kidding
you
me?
lucky?
I'm just looking at the
I had
crystal
to have Channel
frequencies there.
19.
There you go.
I have a one of the original Archer space patrols. It's
Oh,
the
did
one with
you?
a little Morse code key on the side.
right. Oh,
and
my
the
God.
antenna that was about 20 feet long
Yeah.
and got stuck on everything.
Oh my God.
But my
Yeah.
brother and I used to talk on those, and we could go all the way across the house, and we thought that was
Oh
great.
my gosh. seriously,
See, that's
man.
neat.
Okay, we got something here. Here we go.
Uh-oh. He's got something.
Bad Grandpa.
There
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah.
And there it is in living color. Look how beautiful that thing is. Oh my God.
Wow.
You gotta
That
be
is
kidding me.
awesome.
Brand new.
That is neat.
Sharon, did you see this? Don't show Sharon that next time she comes over to your house, Bad Grandpa.
Talk
She'll,
about
she'll go home
memories.
with one of those. I promise you.
What year was that made?
Hold on, I'll tell you.
Hey, you know
Probably the
something?
70s, right?
Hey, Sharon?
76.
We could give Bad Grandpa your dad's that air two-way that's just broken. I guarantee he could fix it.
Look at that.
I guarantee he could fix it. Yes.
Still in the
Oh
styrofoam.
my goodness.
It's brand new.
Look
Wow.
at that.
You never know what the hell's going to show up here.
Look at that. That thing's already. I bet, is that your retirement?
Oh, hell no.
It's got to be worth something.
I'm looking for a date. I mean, when it was made, not to go out.
Gotta be the 70s, huh?
It doesn't.
Had to be in the 70s.
Had to be the 70s, man. I mean,
If it's
just
only one
styrofoam.
channel, one or two channels, I'd say.
Yeah, I had that, and I screamed on that thing for one day, all day outside finally somebody came back to me and told me to shut up. I'm like, that was on 11 meters, right? I was already a general class amateur radio operator. I'm like, look at this CB radio, right? 1976, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you were on CB in 1976, you had a
Well,
problem.
we all
You were the
started
man.
with CB, I think, didn't we?
Most people did.
I
Yeah.
didn't start in CB, but I did have my tour of duty on it for sure.
Oh yeah,
I
we all did.
Yeah.
I mean, I had an FT101. I put the 11-meter crystal in that thing about a year after I had it. Everybody else was on CB radio. I said, I mean, the Smoking the Bandit had just come out, man. I'm getting on that. I'm getting on CB radio, man.
Yeah. It was
It's-
every other house on the street
You remember
had a
that part?
CB
I only
antenna.
take my hat off for one reason.
I got a question.
Here we go.
Cliff, what was your very first ham radio, the very first one you purchased?
Brand new was the 101. It was the 101 double E. I couldn't afford the speech processor,
The
so I got
double
the
E.
double E.
What
Because
was
the
yours,
E had a
Kurt?
speech processor, right? And I thought I needed, and I got it for it was $700. I worked at Western Sizzlin Steakhouse. Started out washing dishes, became a fry cook.
Wow.
And that little job at 16 years old, my mother helped me save the money. We paid cash for it. I think it was like, I'm pretty sure it was Arnell Electronics. I'm not mistaken. I know it was up north.
Wow,
And I was talking to him today. I said, I'm pretty sure it was your company I bought my first time radio with.
that's
Wow.
neat.
Yeah, the first radio that I operated though was not a fancy Yaesu FT101.
Yeah.
It was a Hammerlin HQ170. It was Bad Grandpa has one right now. A Hammerlin
Sure.
from the 50s or 60s, and I had a DX20, a Heathkit DX20, and I had a Helicopters VFO.
Okay.
And I could only do Morse code because back in those days, if you're I was a novice for an entire year. It took me that long to pass my general. That's how I was not an electronics person. So I was just I was just a hippie kid. So I a 70s kid. I was like the 70s show. I wore bell bottoms and platform shoes. I don't care what
Me
anybody
too.
says.
There you go.
And so it took me a year, but in that year I learned I got the Morse code, got the 35 words a minute. It's like my second language, right?
Wow.
And I had a radio before I had a girlfriend, so I was that kind of I was that guy, you know what I mean?
Sure.
But Bad Grandpa's got that HQ1. He's not that one, but he's got an HQ170 like I had back in the day, and that was a loaner from my Elmer. And the DX20 I paid $50 for
Wow.
Wow.
with the VFO, and my Elmer came and put the antenna up and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my first radio. It's a HTX
Wow.
202. They just came out
But that has a touch tone,
in
right?
the early 90s. Yep.
That's the one. Oh, that's early 90s. Okay.
Yeah, early 90s they came out, and Radio Shack produced this, and I believe it was an ICOM knockoff.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nope.
No?
I guess
Uh-oh.
not.
Bad Grandpa. now.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
We're going to get... Okay.
You're gonna be schooled here.
It's made by a company called Maxon.
That's
Oh,
right.
Maxon.
Right, right.
But the Icon battery pack fits it.
So it was a little suspicious, then, wasn't it? I think
Yeah.
maybe
The
it
parts
came out
are
of
the parts are interchangeable,
That
right?
came out of the same factory. It's a little name change. Those Asians are
Coincidence?
great, huh?
Pretty much, yeah.
Hey, Bad Grandpa.
Yes.
What was your first radio that you got?
Well, my first one was for UHF was a Motorola, of course. I was licensed in 1972.
He had to check.
Just 17 in there.
Did you say 1772?
I was there. No, 1972. I was working for Motorola.
I was too.
Hey, I was fixing portable products. And
Wow.
I got a little side business going. I found that there was a company in Chicago called Spectronics, and I could buy boards that failed QC. So I'd buy up the boards, and I'd fix them, and I'd build Motorola HT220 for everybody. And then my buddy said, you're making such nice radios, why don't you get your license? I said, all right, what the hell, and I did.
Wow.
So what was the first radio?
Yeah, what was the first radio?
Motorola HT220
Wow.
UHF. And then my first HF rig was an ICO 753 tri-bander. Don't take your hand off the dial.
We do a little drifting.
Like chasing a cat around the house.
Drifting means it wouldn't stay on the frequency. You set it fine. It would go. You hear the signal go, yeah, start drifting up or down. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
You have a crystal control radio, maybe one thing, but I don't know how that thing was set up. But probably it was still drifting with crystals, right? Because it had a BFO, right?
Oh, well, yeah. No, got to go back a little more.
Okay.
That's,
But-
that's
but
not
it's-
it?
I've got one here. I'd have to go find it, but I got one.
What, is it one that you made?
You know, I think it might be.
Well, Robert, what was your first radio?
Well, it was a CB radio is where I started, and it was a Lafayette HE22. Oh no,
It's a famous,
HE6.
famous company. Lafayette's very
It
famous.
had the 23 VFO, and it had 6
The
pistol
23.
positions.
What was the
Oh, really?
what was the model?
HE6 or something.
No, it's HE20C.
20C. Okay. Yeah, I
My
had
grandpa-
several old radios.
He knows everything.
He does, man.
He
He's
does.
amazing.
Grandpa
he's,
is
he's
the
a, he's
information.
a computer, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
know-
the first ham radio I had, it was a DX60 night,
okay, right, yeah,
night
yeah.
kit. I
He's
think.
got no, that's a Heath kit,
Heath kit.
and he's got you've got a DX100 up there,
I
right?
get them all mixed up because I had Night,
Yeah.
I had Heathkit, I had. Do you have one of those S38? It was a very popular radio, Bad Grandpa. It was
S8.
yeah,
S38.
yeah. Do you have one of those?
He's
That one?
he's digging.
Oh,
I
he's got
can't see
one, he's got
anything.
one.
Oh, wait a
He's
minute.
got
Never
one.
mind.
Hey, hang on.
That's S53.
Yeah, it was a 38, and it was very popular with shortwave listeners. But those
very
are the two things I had.
It's
And,
very popular
check
with
it out.
electrocuting
Oh, look
people,
at that
too.
thing.
Yeah, they were.
Is that right? Is
Yeah,
that right?
the chassis was hot, so if you touched
That's
it
right.
in another piece,
So which one is it? The one on the left or the one on the right or the one in the middle?
yes,
No,
one-
no.
the one he just
My
pointed to.
finger, my
That's a-
finger's
that's-
stuck. The one in the middle is an S53.
Okay,
Made in 1953.
Is that it there?
That's a Heath kit right there.
that's a
Wow.
Heath
That's
kit.
a
that.
heat kit.
Yeah,
That is so neat.
yeah. I thought
Those are way too expensive
You
for
know
me
what?
back in the
I
day.
thought it looked cool.
It
Yeah,
does.
That's why I got it. I didn't know anything about it. I just
What year was that one built in?
that was
This one here probably in the 60s or 70s.
60s. Okay.
Yeah. That's a part of they have a receiver and a transmitter to go with that. That went with that, I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to get all my pictures together. I'll show you guys what I
That would
had.
be cool.
You'll laugh because
We don't
There's-
laugh. We
there's
think it's
the- there's
great.
if I touch the
there's the
transmitter
100
and
right there.
the receiver, I'd get electrocuted.
Oh, jeez.
Hey Robert, there's the 100 right there, the DX100 right there.
Here's
Yes.
your 100.
Yes, that's what I had.
Yeah, that's that thing does AM, right? Or does sideband
It's
too?
AM, NCW.
It has 85 watts worth of AM.
Yeah.
Or 85
That's,
watts worth of audio. It's a
61
100-watt carrier.
6146.
That is a great looking radio.
Two of them, I think.
60
Two 6146.
That's what the
There's
Yaesu-
two 6146 is being modulated by 1629, I think
Yeah,
it is.
whatever that is.
Okay, you lost me.
Those are old
Yeah.
tubes, man. I mean, nobody makes those old tubes anymore. I mean, once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, I guess you have
You
to
know why
replace
they
them
call
with a
that? You know why they call that a DX100?
No, 100 watts.
Weighs 100 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like it.
I would like to reassemble my DX20, a Helicopters VFO, and a
Helicopters,
HQ170, an HQ170, just to have as my original station,
That would
set
be
up
neat.
somewhere and just leave it alone. Because when you turn the HQ170, it had holes in the chassis. The thing's gigantic. He's got one over there somewhere.
Do you still have yours in boxes?
No,
or-
but he's got one. He'll never sell it to me, but I'll find one.
Okay.
And if
Which-
you turn it
what
on,
is it?
HQ170.
Which one?
HQ170.
No, not for sale.
I know it's not. Where is it? Do you have it in your shop? Show them what an HQ170 looks like. It's a sexy old radio, man. It's a boat.
It's in the back of the house with
Oh, it
the
is? Okay.
110.
Oh, it is okay. Okay, never mind then.
I have a 110 also.
It has holes in the chassis, so it had like 30 tubes in that thing, right? So when you turn it on, the tubes would light up and the lights would come out of the holes.
So you
and
can see
have
it glaring against
you
the
have
wall.
You have this light show on your ceiling.
Yep.
I mean, it was
My
great.
Omer was like that back in Wisconsin.
Yeah, isn't that great?
It's neat.
I mean, that's one of the neatest receivers I ever had in my life, and that thing would hear good, man.
That's pretty neat.
I mean, that thing would tune. It would hear anything coming through down the antenna wire. I promise you
Oh,
that.
look, he's showing something there.
There's some more old autocockers, says you. 699.
Oh my God, is it made by who? Helicopter?
Yes, and then there's a 110 or 111.
And then you got the SB 104 series right there. I'm looking at right now.
That's right.
Now tell us a little bit about your SB 104 series. That thing came in as a piece of basically it was that thing has been redone 100% by you, right? Repainted everything, right?
Came in and looked like an ashtray.
Is that right? That thing is so, folks. I've never seen an SB 104 line. He's got the entire line. It's all three
I
separate
do.
pieces of equipment, right? It's three separate pieces.
I have the whole thing.
Yeah, it's as beautiful as it came off the showroom floor.
Wow.
And it was a kit, you built it yourself. It was a Heath kit. So you could have them build it for you for one price, or you could build it yourself for another price, right?
Okay.
It was always cheaper, yeah.
Yeah.
But what happened was I saw this thing at the swap meet. So I says, how much you want for it? And he says, $450. I says, no. He goes, how much you offering? I said, 150. He goes, how about 200? And I said, if I wanted to pay 200, I would offer you 200. I said 150. And he goes, well, I have to think about it. It's okay, you take it home and you bring it next month. It'll be like 7 months in a row I've seen it. So
Yep.
I'll see you next month. And he goes, you have cash? I said, no, I was going to put it on my card. Yeah, you know. So anyway, I got the whole station and I brought it home.
$150.
$150. Oh, it was a mess.
I can just imagine.
That's neat.
You acid cleaned it and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you've done a lot of work on that thing, and it works.
Most of it got washed in the sink.
Oh wow! Imagine that.
So
So you put soap and water on that thing, huh? Not while it was turned on, of course.
Simple Green.
Oh, is that right? That works well, huh?
Oh boy, does it work.
Hey, I just wanted to mention before we move on here, we were talking about the solar index.
Yes. the
And I
solar
do
flux
have a
index.
chart that I think you wanted to talk about
Sure,
briefly.
put it up real fast. Let's take a look at it. There we go, folks. This is what we're looking at today. Now, 2 years ago, if you look at the top left, you'll see the date up there in yellow. Well, right below that, you see a SFI. That's the Solar Flux Index.
Okay.
And that's today. That's for today. It's 110. A year ago, we were at 60, 63, and propagation was very, very poor. Now, our sunspot 2 years ago was at 0. So if you go one more space over to the right, you'll see it says 95.
Yep.
That's our sunspot number. Okay, so
Now, are
that's very important.
sunspots good or bad? How does that work?
Well, sunspots are good for what we do because they energize the ionosphere.
Okay.
It's like a. It's
but
like
they're
a-
not initially good, right?
Well, I mean, they're not good or bad.
Well,
I think
before
they're-
they become a sunspot, I mean.
What they can become, they become
The
a
solar
coronal
flare.
hole, things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, They're you don't want an unstable sun. You want solid sunspots, and those sunspots let off enough of the certain type of molecules and energy to energize an atmosphere that we have above oxygen. It's called the ionosphere, and it's an ionized gas clouds,
Yep.
if you will. And they become very dense when they're energized from those particles from the sun, and they get the particles from those sunspots. And so if you see over here, you go down below SFI, you see the A. We call that the alpha index, and then the K, that's the K index. And those numbers will tell you how stable the ionosphere is. If those numbers go real high, like around 10 or greater, the A index is for a 4-hour window. The K index is the same as the A index, but it's for a 24-hour window. So you learn more by looking at the K really over a long period of time, but the A is what's happening right this very second.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
And so they're both below 5, which is very, very good. So if you've got your sunspot number at 110, you've got 95 sunspots, your A is below 5, your K is at 1, I would predict that 20 meters will be open 24 hours tonight, maybe even 15 meters.
Wow.
Probably you'll have signals all night long, maybe even 10 meters.
Yeah.
And you come down here and you look down, you keep looking down there. There's some other stuff on there that is not really pertinent to what I need to know about radio. But you come all the way down, you see where it says HF conditions there. It says solar terrestrial data.
Oh, yeah.
You come down, they'll kind of describe to you. There's almost all the amateur bands right there. But you see it says fair at 17 through 15 meters.
Yep.
Well, they're underestimating. We both know Bad Grandpa and I were on the air today, and 10 meters was not open to Europe and Japan tonight. I mean, we're talking about it was Europe in the morning, Japan at night. The higher the frequency, the more it follows the sun. So as the sun moves east to west, the propagation moves east to west, and that's been a rule of thumb for a long time. The gray line propagation. There's just so much about radio, folks. I mean, if you're going to be a radio operator, you got to learn about the sun. Isn't that stupid or crazy? And all of our
And geography.
all of our
Geography.
all of our formulas that we use today to make a piece of wire the right distance is the speed of light coming from that sun. The speed of light, we use that as a baseline.
Yep.
It's one of the only truism laws in the universe. It's the speed of light, and that's 186,000 miles per second. And from that formula, we can get the exact length of a wavelength to know how big the wire needs to be for an antenna
Right.
to receive that wavelength better. And so we use the speed of light as our general rule of ham radio. What do you think about that, Bad Grandpa?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
You know, 10 meters, 12 meters, it was wide open the last few days.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, so get on your radios if you can.
Hey, listen, thanks for stopping in, you folks. Go ahead.
Yeah, the technician guys, get out there 28.3
That's
to
right.
28.5.
Use
Do
that
it.
license.
That's it. That's it.
Or,
Hey, listen,
or,
thank you guys very much. This is the Las Vegas
All right.
Jazz Foundation. Thanks for joining in tonight. We
Have
love
a
you
great
guys.
night.
Welcome to Vegas.
7-3, gang.
See you
don't,
next year.
and don't forget,
Take
we
care,
got
guys.
a contest starting next week.
Don't forget, we got
N7
N7RSL,
And
KC7
KC7
JLL, K7 STJ. We've got N5VAE and K5DA. God bless you guys. Have a good night.
Good
Don't
night.
forget, who do we got here?
Oh, NO7BS. That's November Oscar 7BS.